Arnold Schwarzenegger was born in a small village in Austria in 1947. His childhood was far from easy. His family was very poor, and his father was strict and sometimes harsh. Arnold grew up with big dreams but very few resources. As a boy, he often felt like he didn't belong in his tiny village. He wanted something bigger, something extraordinary. He discovered bodybuilding when he was still a teenager. The moment he saw pictures of strong and muscular athletes, he knew that this was his path to escape poverty. Arnold trained with whatever he could find. Sometimes he lifted weights made from old scrap metal because he couldn't afford real gym equipment. His determination was unstoppable. People laughed at him, telling him that bodybuilding was a waste of time. But Arnold didn't care. He believed in himself when no one else did. At 18, he joined the Austrian army for mandatory service. Even there, he never gave up on his training. Arnold's talent quickly became clear when he started winning small competitions. Then came the big moment. He traveled to Germany to compete in the Mr. Universe contest. He was only 20 years old, the youngest ever to win the title. That victory was his ticket out of Austria. With little money and barely knowing English, Arnold moved to America with a single dream: to become the greatest bodybuilder in the world and a Hollywood star. Life in America was tough at first. Arnold struggled with the language and had no friends or family there. He worked in construction during the day and trained tirelessly at night. Slowly, people began to notice his incredible physique and charisma. Soon, Arnold wasn't just a bodybuilder. He was a symbol of what hard work could achieve. By the time he was 23, he had already won multiple Mr. Olympia titles and was becoming a legend in bodybuilding. But Arnold wasn't satisfied. He wanted to conquer Hollywood next. At first, studios rejected him. They said his accent was too heavy and his body too big for leading roles. Many told him to give up. Arnold didn't listen. Just like in his childhood, he kept pushing forward, believing that one day the world would see his talent. His big break was just around the corner, and it would change his life forever. Arnold's dream of being a movie star seemed impossible. Directors kept telling him that he wouldn't make it. His accent was strange, his name was too long, and he didn't fit the image of a typical leading man. But Arnold had faced rejection before. Just like in bodybuilding, he knew persistence was key. His first roles were small and often went unnoticed. He appeared in a few low-budget films that didn't do well. But in 1977, he received a chance to play in the movie Pumping Iron, a documentary about bodybuilding. The film showcased his charm and humor, and audiences loved him. It didn't make him a star overnight, but it opened doors. Then came 1982. The year that changed everything. Arnold landed the role of Conan in Conan the Barbarian. The film was a massive success and proved that he could be a leading man. Just 2 years later, he starred in The Terminator, a movie that would define his career. His famous line, "I'll be back," became one of the most iconic quotes in movie history. Suddenly, the man who was once told he would never succeed was now one of the biggest stars in the world. Through the 1980s and 1990s, Arnold ruled Hollywood. Films like Predator, Total Recall, and True Lies turned him into a legend. He became known for his action-packed roles and larger-than-life personality. His movies earned millions at the box office, and he became one of the highest-paid actors in the industry. Arnold didn't just want fame and fortune, he wanted to inspire others. He often spoke about his journey from poverty to success, encouraging people to dream big and never give up. His story was proof that anything was possible with determination. However, behind the glamour, Arnold's life wasn't perfect. His fame came with challenges, and his personal life began to show cracks. While the world saw him as unstoppable, he was quietly facing problems that no amount of fame could fix. The next phase of his life would test him in ways he never expected. Arnold was never the type to stay in one lane. After conquering bodybuilding in Hollywood, he set his sights on something entirely different: politics. Many people were shocked when he announced that he would run for governor of California. Critics laughed, thinking it was just a publicity stunt, but Arnold was serious. In 2003, California was facing a crisis. The state was struggling with financial issues and political unrest. Arnold believed he could make a difference. Using his fame and charisma, he launched a campaign unlike anything people had seen before. Crowds gathered wherever he went, and his speeches inspired hope. To everyone's surprise, Arnold won the election. He became the governor of California, proving once again that he could achieve the impossible. People started calling him the Governator, a mix of governor and Terminator. His journey from a small Austrian village to the highest political office in California seemed like a movie script come to life. During his time in office, Arnold focused on environmental issues, healthcare reform, and improving the state's economy. He faced many challenges and critics, but he worked tirelessly to serve the people. Even those who didn't agree with his policies respected his dedication. However, politics came with a heavy price. The stress of running the state began to affect Arnold's personal life. His family felt the strain, and cracks started to appear in his marriage to Maria Shriver. They had been together for decades, raising 4 children. To the public, they seemed like the perfect couple. Behind closed doors, things were much more complicated. As Arnold's time as governor came to an end, he faced a deeply personal scandal that would shake his world. News broke that he had fathered a child with a member of his household staff years earlier. The revelation devastated his family and shocked the world. Maria filed for divorce, and Arnold's image took a massive hit. For a man who had built his entire life on strength and resilience, this was one of the lowest points he had ever faced. It wasn't a movie role or a political challenge. It was his personal life falling apart in front of millions. The scandal surrounding Arnold's secret child dominated headlines worldwide. The public was stunned, and his family was heartbroken. Maria Shriver, who had stood by him through years of political battles and Hollywood fame, felt betrayed. Their marriage ended after 25 years together. For Arnold, it was a devastating period. He admitted his mistake publicly, taking full responsibility, but the damage was done. His carefully built image of a devoted husband and family man crumbled. The man who had always seemed larger than life was now facing the consequences of his actions like anyone else. This was more than just a personal failure. It affected his children deeply. They struggled to cope with the sudden changes in their family. Arnold's relationship with them became strained, and he had to work hard to rebuild trust. Professionally, Arnold's career also suffered. When he returned to acting after leaving politics, the public's perception of him had changed. His comeback films didn't have the same impact as his earlier hits. The world had moved on, and younger stars now ruled the box office. Arnold felt lost. For decades, he had always been moving forward, from bodybuilding to movies to politics. Now, for the first time, he was standing still, facing his mistakes and unsure of his future. But Arnold had been through dark times before, growing up in poverty, facing rejection in Hollywood, and overcoming countless obstacles had taught him one thing: never give up. Slowly, he began to focus on healing. He spent more time with his children, worked on repairing relationships, and shifted his energy toward giving back to the community. Even as he aged, Arnold continued to stay active and involved. He used his platform to promote health, fitness, and environmental causes. Though he would never erase his past mistakes, he was determined to create a positive legacy. However, as Arnold grew older, new challenges emerged, ones that no amount of strength or determination could fully overcome. His health began to decline, reminding him that even the strongest bodies eventually wear down. Arnold was always known for his powerful physique, but time catches up with everyone. In his late 60s and 70s, he began facing serious health issues. Years of intense training, heavy lifting, and action movie stunts had taken a toll on his body. One of Arnold's biggest battles was with his heart. He had undergone open-heart surgery years earlier to fix a congenital defect. It was a dangerous procedure, and doctors warned him to be careful. As he got older, his heart problems returned. In 2018, he went through another emergency surgery. For a man who once seemed invincible, waking up in a hospital bed was a harsh reality. Arnold admitted that he was scared. The man who had faced down Hollywood villains and political opponents now faced his own mortality. Even after surgery, his recovery was slow and painful. He couldn't move the way he used to. Simple tasks became difficult, and he had to accept that he was no longer the unstoppable action hero the world remembered. Arnold continued to exercise, but his workouts were different now. Instead of heavy weights and intense training, he focused on staying healthy and mobile. He spoke openly about aging, encouraging others to take care of their bodies. Despite his efforts, health scares kept coming. Each time, his fans worried about him. Seeing their hero vulnerable was heartbreaking. Arnold himself struggled to accept that his days of peak strength were behind him. Through it all, he remained determined to keep living with purpose. He spent more time with his children and grandchildren, finding joy in family moments. Yet deep down, he missed the excitement of his earlier years. The bright lights of Hollywood, the roar of the crowd, the thrill of competition, all were now memories. Arnold's body may have grown weaker, but his spirit stayed strong. However, as he reached 78, the weight of time grew heavier. His story was no longer about fame or success. It was about legacy, regret, and the fleeting nature of life itself. At 78, Arnold Schwarzenegger lives a quieter life than the one he once knew. The crowds are smaller now, and the cameras don't follow him everywhere. He spends much of his time reflecting on his incredible journey, the victories, the failures, and the lessons learned. Arnold often shares his thoughts with fans online, offering advice and encouragement. He speaks about resilience, discipline, and never giving up, even when life feels impossible. His words carry weight because they come from experience. Despite the heartbreak of his past, Arnold remains grateful. He is proud of his children and the lives they are building. Though his marriage ended painfully, he and Maria have found peace and continue to support their family together. Arnold's legacy stretches far beyond bodybuilding or movies. He showed the world that dreams can come true with hard work and determination. From a poor boy in Austria to a global icon, his story has inspired millions. But behind the inspiration is a man who has faced deep sorrow. Aging has been difficult for Arnold. The strong, fearless hero on screen now struggles with the same challenges every elderly person faces: declining health, loss of strength, and the reality that time cannot be defeated. As fans look at Arnold today, many feel a mix of admiration and sadness. His life is a reminder that even the greatest heroes are human. No matter how powerful or famous someone becomes, they are not immune to pain and heartbreak. Arnold himself once said that life is about constantly moving forward, no matter what. At 78, he continues to live by those words. Though his body has grown weaker, his will remains unbroken. In the end, Arnold's story is not just about muscles, movies, or politics. It is about a man who dared to dream, who fell, who rose again, and who never stopped fighting. His journey proves that true strength comes not from never falling, but from always finding the courage to stand back up, even when the world believes you are finished.